Hi guys. Today's conversation is about judgment and the excess of judgment. I feel like to a degree, judgment is critical. I think it's really important, and I feel that intuitively, we have judgment for sake of survival and navigating our way through the world. But it comes to a point where there is too much judgment, where judgment is used, in situations where it's really not necessary, or where you allow yourself to judge to a point that's almost unhealthy. It's kind of like the forces that be. Sometimes, they drive people to a point of feeling incredibly insecure with themselves. So when we judge ourselves so harshly, unnecessarily, without need. And, it's difficult living in a world where you have these set expectations in place. No one's really free to be themselves. And when they try to be, they're judged very often. And negatively. Like, oh, you're different. I have to judge you. I have to look at you different. You're odd. You stand out. But why? Why can't we be free to be ourselves? Why do we have to judge others? Don't you think it's important to kind of consciously be aware of how we look at ourselves as well as others? Because I do. I think it's a big problem, People who look different and just choose to express themselves differently. We all have the same emotions, feelings. We all see this world. We all travel through it. We experience many similar things. And instead of looking at one another as potential brother and sister, we look at others as a threat, as an enemy. And first of all, it doesn't help. It's not going to help you make any friends. And, when you close yourself off, it's like you're living as a rat in a cage. You don't allow yourself to see the world. You're not open to things. You're not interested in them. It's like you're afraid of them. Basically, no, you are afraid of them. While I understand you may see others as a threat, it's okay to put down that guard and say, okay, let me see what this person is actually about. Maybe the first impression isn't entirely accurate. Or maybe your first impression is not accurate at all, and just because someone looks a certain way, you don't really know who they are. Are you looking at their physical attributes? Can you actually feel their presence? Have you tried to feel their presence? Have you tried speaking with them? And I feel another problem for me personally is, I'm 21 years old. I still live at home, unfortunately. And my parents don't accept me as this different human being. I'm very eccentric in comparison to them. And they kind of follow the societal norms as opposed to myself, who chooses not to, or maybe doesn't as well as they do. And it's a problem, because, oh, you're different? Why? What's wrong with you? What are you doing? What the hell's wrong with you? What are you going to do with your life? How are you going to live your life? How are people going to look at you? How are you going to find a boyfriend? All these ridiculous petty things. I feel that when you allow yourself to be free, to be yourself, everything else will come. And when you have that strong sense of self, it's very easy to navigate your way through life. It's very easy to make decisions. Things aren't a hassle. It's not about what others expect of you. It's what you expect of yourself. Learn to judge yourself fairly and learn to judge others fairly. And again, judgment is a thing that's natural to us. It's always going to be natural to want to judge. It's okay to make a judgment. It's the next step, if you're willing to take it, is to say, okay, I made a judgment. Let me stop myself. Why did I judge this person this way? Are they really as I just explain themselves to be? Or are they really different? Let me see what they're really like. Let me be honest and genuine to myself and them and see what they're really about. Let me give them that time. Let me just be human, I think, is the right thing to do. Because I think oftentimes we try to mold ourselves into what is seen commonly, and It's not an honest way to live life. And I think we all know that, but there's a lot of fear involved in the idea of taking that kind of risk, of stepping outside of that norm. To me, life is not beautiful living as others would expect me to, as others would want me to have it. I'd kill myself. I'd go crazy. I feel like once you see yourself for who you actually are, it's very unlikely that when you allow yourself to take flight that you're going to return to the nest. Very unlikely. Do not let yourself be brought down by the man. Do not let yourself be brought down by people who are close to you. And I think it's one of the most difficult things. You expect a lot of love from people who are close to you, and that kind of love is never guaranteed, you know, and it's a sad thing. You can try to work and mend certain relationships, but be careful not to lose who you are while you're doing that. And the other thing is, in freeing yourself and being free to be yourself, you somehow miraculously find people who will love you, totally love you, and appreciate you, and embrace you for who you are. And it's a lot less fucking work than to try to pretend or fit some kind of role, to wear some kind of mask. It's not necessary. So not necessary. And I think you will see that life is a lot more wonderful when you're yourself. Because you will rule your own world. No one's going to be ruling it for you. No one's going to be writing your world, your life. You write your destiny, as it's been said. So, go out and do it. Peace and love. Thanks for watching, and please come back soon. Bye.